Giving it all we got, giving it all we can, giving it all we got. Oh, climbing up to the top of the world, no fear, we're gonna make it. Everything we want is ours.
Whatever I was going, you boo, 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 punch him in the face, you know. And then the lady across, she's on the other side of the street on the sidewalk. She's all, hey, you stop that, or something. And I turn around, I'm looking, it's this, and I grab. Whoa, hey, yeah. Well, good morning. Craig here on the Thai farm. It's too early for this shit. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So, you might be able to hear it in the background, but we are, or I should say my wife has decided that, yeah, that there's gonna be another pond in front of the garden area. So, not quite, I don't know if it's quite as big, not big like that pond. It's going to be this narrow, well, when I say narrow, I probably mean 3 meters wide or some bay that goes on length of this whole rice field. So that's probably 40 meters, almost 40 meters long. Now normally there's a canal that runs up out to the street, and it actually connects and goes all the way through here. And she already dug this, or we had them dig that little canal right here first. Let me go up my stairs here. She had them, when we backfilled this area for the garden, she had them dig that canal, and her intent was, oh, this will fill with water naturally and we'll put fish in there. Yeah, that didn't happen. So now the guys out there, and that whole front area is going to be dug out in a much bigger, wider, and the idea is that water from when they let water in for farming, that the water will also fill here, and then she'll have this pond, you know, about a meter and not too deep, like a shallow pond, kind of a meter and a half, maybe 5 feet or something like that, deep enough for her to walk in, put it that way. She's 5'1", so maybe a little less, 4.5 feet or something like that. And then yeah, and from what she's telling me this morning, I'll wait until later today. She's supposed to be digging like almost like this ditch all the way up to the road on the side here, and then all the way over, not completely, evidently. She said like halfway, I'm not sure why, but this will be natural here and that. And there's a cement drain pipe, right? The ones that are about 12-inch round, I guess, that normally farmers buy those or whatever, or maybe the city helps them, and they put 1 or 2 of those drain pipes from the main canal from the road into the different farms, right? You have pipes that allow water to go into the different farms, while at the same time, you know, distributing the water all the way down the road, right? So anyway, we had dug up before on this side of our property the 2 pipes leading into the canal, so it would open up more. Anyway, this morning, my wife was like, yo, walked out there to the very front, and we had to, these are heavy concrete pipes, you know, like a drainage pipe the city would use. So we had to roll it across the rice field onto a dolly that was on the road, and then dolly that broke a dolly, I should say. Dolly that thing all the way back down here, and I just left it right there on the thing instead of bringing it over here like you wanted. I said, dude, just wait till the macro guy gets here. He'll pick it up, bring it over there and drop it, which is what he already did. So, and I'll probably have to wait until, like I say, towards the end of the day to show this, but he's digging up all the mud and dirt and using that, you know, as an embankment. So he's doing it. So he's, when he gets here, you can see him right now. Probably when he's done, you wouldn't be able to see him in the angle I'm at now, because that whole side on this side is going to be filled with dirt, you know, to basically aid in the depth of the pond. And but it's not dirt, because this end of the rice field, and I think I covered this maybe in a previous video a long time ago, but this end of the rice field has always been soggy. That's probably the word for it. And that's why, one of the reasons why we backfilled here, we backfilled on top of all this. We pushed the rest of the rice, the rest of the dirt during the dry season, a lot of the top dirt over there, and pushed it all over here to make this, right? We didn't add any dirt. We just had pushed all up here, and we pushed that on top of the soggy area, which made it easier also for this canal, because, you know, it always stayed soggy, so the water stayed in there, no problem. But that sogginess goes out beyond where the excavator is now, and so he's really digging up some serious mud. And I even saw water there. Like, hasn't been any rain, although it did rain yesterday a little bit, but you know, so I'm thinking, oh damn, man, you know what? I'll bet you the reason it's always soggy, and if you look over here at the pond, the water table, and I mentioned in my previous video about the pump out there, or about the well, and considering the whole water table, I wouldn't doubt if the water table is closer over here. And so he winds up digging, and he's going to wind up getting down to where water wants to percolate itself up. So once this is all done, he's got it all dug out, and there's no rain, I'll be interested to see in a day or two if water doesn't find its way up through there and start filling the pond already. The intent was that, you know, you dig out the area, and then the water comes from the city, they open the dam and all the farms get their water or whatever. That would be what fills up the pond. So, which also may occur, but we're basically digging up wet dirt, and it really shouldn't be wet. We've been dry. We've been dry for a while. We'll go here and take a look at it. This is an owner-operator, by the way. This guy bought a brand new excavator, one of the small ones, you know, probably 800,000 baht or something. And then, and he's operating it for us. And I think my wife mentioned that, you know, it's an all-day job, and we do 5,000 baht a day for this guy, for his heavy equipment. Dang, it's pretty deep. I could put a couple bodies in there. Where is it? Right there. What? That was my screenshot. But anyway, yeah, man. I did not know we were doing that today, really. You know, my wife had a hard time explaining it. She said, I can't explain it. I can't explain what my ideas are. Well, fine. We'll see. I mean, who cares, right? It's a piece of land. You do what you want with it. Dig it all up. I want to make a motocross track out there. Let's see if I can stand over here. Oh, you can see the guys out there working on that knockdown house. Almost got the whole thing walled up now on the bottom with bricks. Looks really cool with the bricks, you know, from far off. When you get closer, you can see the mortar. I mean, it's not perfect and all that, but it's perfectly straight. It looks really good. But they're gonna, render it. So once you render it with brick color, That'd be cool. Or Adobe color or whatever. Water in this pond's going down too. That's what I was talking about. Look at that piling. That piling, you can see from the discoloration. The top is white. That's about where the maximum water comes. But a little bit, about 3, 4, or 5 inches below that white line, you know, it's dark. You can see maybe if you zoom in, or if you're watching this on a TV, you can see that the concrete is eroded from the years of water that have been there. Or I should say the years of water level being at that level. They're all levels, but today and now, as it approaches, you know, March and April, although I think today's March 1st, I think. So, yeah, it gets lower. Those pilings have been in there for, I don't know, 15 years, 13 years, maybe 10 years, I don't know. Long time, longer than I can remember. I was looking for a snake still. This time of year you might get snakes showing themselves too, because the water's more shallow, which means the fish have less room to run away, and you know, snakes like that. I'm gonna put I think maybe I can do that today too. I want to put the archway here. I don't know if I should do archway or if I should put the T on top. I think the archway would be better. Yesterday when I was looking at the house up here, I was saying, or I saw it in one of my videos in the background, and I was thinking about the color. I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know what? That is definitely, it's definitely darker than it was, you know. I mean, I knew that it got darker when they put the new coating on it, but it's really a real nice dark color. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Nice dark color. I think this window would be the best window I could change to open to where it opens up like that. You know, instead of opening choo choo, to open up like that French window thing. I like that, man, style. So, but I can't. I was thinking of doing it on my shop or in my computer room, but I got 3 windows there. You know, this one I think it's as simple as just undo the hardware on that window and put hinges in it, and you're done. But the other ones are 3 windows, so I can't do that. I'd have to, if I wanted, I'd have to make 2 bigger windows separate to make that happen. And I don't want to do that. As it is today, I will do more work on my what do we want to call this? My project over here. Well, the biggest part of the work is a cement job. As you saw in that previous video, I did the cement yesterday from here, and I covered it with these wood chunks to prevent the rain from getting in on fresh wet cement and adding more water, thus compromising the integrity. Yeah, boom, that's pretty good, rock solid. So I got to fill that one, which is a full batch, another 8 buckets of stuff to mix. And then this one, judging from that, if that's 8 buckets, this looks like it's going to be at least 3 of those. So that's another 24 buckets. What's up, cat? Come on, you always got to be around, right? What? Although, as I mentioned, you know, I want to do it more to these. These are cemented in there, but I thought they should be blocked like that. Well, If I block it like that, it's going to come out to about here, which is right next to this. So on the rethink, it's like, you know what, maybe I should just make this form come out to here, go that way, come that way, and then the whole thing is cemented. I mean, I don't think, you know, I don't want to fill it up with a bunch of sand and then put the cement on top, because then the cement would just be floating, you know, from here up or whatever. So I think it needs to be solid concrete in order to, you know, in order to grab onto everything. Which means shit, man. It's a lot of mixing. Mixing ain't easy when you're doing it all by hand, man. You know? This was a treasure. No. It was one of these heads that I cut off with my grinder. I gotta put another bolt in here too. Yes. And the thing is, mixing cement is, this guy, he's staring at the macro. Mixing cement is, I mean, like I said, it's hard, man. Well, I should say it's hard now. I mean, hell, I mixed all that cement to build that whole house over there. But I was a year younger. And I hadn't worn out my body from doing all that shit. Now because I did all that, I'm done. All right, I aged my body by 10 years from doing all the work on this farm in the last 2 years. What? Oh, that's right. And I don't mind, but there's gonna come a point when I can't, you know, I can't do stuff like this anymore. I got the barbecue thing done. That's what I can do today. You know what? Today's the 1st, right? So today I'll commit. Today will be a burn day. So today will be the burn test. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I gotta take time to cut the wood and burn the wood and keep it going. I do mix cement actually over there anyway, so I can drill the excess to continue more of the patio going out that way. It's probably what I should do. Start early. Is go ahead, start cutting wood, make the fire inside that pizza oven. See if my miracle mix of perlite and concrete, or perlite and cement, and then bricks, see if it holds up or blows up. I will be thoroughly disappointed if there's some huge crack right in across the middle or something. There's only one way to find out, and that is get cooking. Cat over there. I'll probably just turn this fan off. I turned it on because I was already getting hot. I'm gonna be over there, so. What's up, cat? Once this is totally built, cats will be like, that's a playground. Actually today, the guy drove this macro over here early this morning, like 7 maybe, 6:37, and parked it over here, you know, with the arm down in the mud or whatever. And sure enough, the 2 cats, you know, as soon as we were outside, they felt comfortable, right? So they go over there, they jumping on the tracks, looking at it, and then all the way up on top of the arm, walking down the arm, you know, looking at the bucket and stuff, just checking everything out. It's too funny. And then I walked up and on the stairs, all the way up on the stairs, I had the 2 cats laying up there, just watching the macro. And when the guy came, he was moving it around. They were both going, "What's up?" Kind of funny. Watch them. Anyway, I don't know what kind of wood I'm going to use. I chose for the burn test I can use any wood. maybe throw in some charcoal. I don't really want to throw in any of that man-made charcoal, or this, you know, the charcoal that they sell, because that charcoal is coated, right? It's got fuel in it, and if you're gonna be cooking pizza or food in there, you don't want that fuel charcoal smell coming up there. So I'll get some wood, maybe some of this wood, maybe even some bamboo, and I'll burn that in there, get a real good burn going, and yeah, that way I don't have any residue. That being said, maybe I have to make charcoal. I'd have to collect a whole bunch of wood, pull out my charcoal maker I made when I first came here, and what's left of it or whatever. But I think I can still make charcoal, and then make a bunch of charcoal that's, you know, untreated, so that can be used to cook stuff with. Anyway, actually, you know what? I hardly have any sand over there that's not full of cat crap and rocks and all this other stuff, and fine sand that's mixed with the coarse sand. And I got a lot of sand that I'm going to need to mix the cement for here. So I think I'm going to go, first thing is I'm going to hop in the truck and go out and get me a load of sand from the sand guy for 250 baht, I think it is. And then dump a fresh load of sand and get busy with cement. Or no, I'll dump the sand, and then I'll find the wood to start the fire. So it's really hot right here while I'm working. All right, back at you. Shovel sand, man. That is not what life's about. But check it out, I got the burn going. Boom. That ought to get it going. It's already smoking out of there. We'll let it get roaring. See how it does. Combination of wood in there. Alright, well, little snapshot. We'll get back at you. Yay. Hello, my followers. My subscribers. Oh my God. Yeah. I'm done over there, man. I couldn't finish it. I had to go get more cement. I did. I got another bag of cement on the scooter. Kind of wobbly, you know. That bag of cement is what, 50 kilos, so that's whatever, 110 pounds, something like that. And yeah. I took my glasses off because I have my good glasses. I don't want to turn them into cement glasses like my other ones, which I was going to wear, but I broke the string, so I couldn't hold out my head. So I was just like, forget it. I always, you know, I kept thinking if I just ignored my glasses for like a month, would my eyes snap back into better focus? I don't know. Because every time I try to do it, I couldn't even last one day. I was like, dude, I need my glasses. But I'll show you that in a minute. But right now I'm gonna put my boots on. I'm gonna walk over there for the mackerel man. Oh, make sure, check for snakes and frogs. I laid them down last time I took them off. If you lay them down, you're just asking for it. Oh my God. Alrighty. Let's go see what he got done. Oh my gosh. Again, this was not something I planned. My wife's plan. that she just decided to do today. I guess she talked to the guy yesterday. Said, bro, he's the same guy who was doing the work at the other knockdown house over there. All right, whoa, let's check it out. Boom. Maybe that's my thumbnail. What the fuck? But yeah, you can see it's got a little shelf here. This goes up. He backfilled all this. She had corn there. We collected it this morning, whatever was left, and then he packed it flat, and then he did all that with his excavator, and then flattened that like that. This, all the dirt he took here, you can see what he's doing is he's might be making this a little wider, I don't know, and he's flattening all that dirt out there. That dirt it actually helps, that way the water doesn't pool up here more, but that'll all be flat. Well, not packed flat, but that'll just that dirt will return to being, you know, part of the field for the rice and stuff. As I mentioned, it's all, you know, this is just cut grass basically now because the soybeans were harvested. So my wife is explaining that what she's thinking is that she's gonna flood the field. We're getting the shade here. She's gonna, you know, flood the field like normally would prior to crops being planted or whatever. So she flood the whole field and then put a whole boatload of fish in there. Not the tilapia, but mostly the, you know, the catfish, pachon or whatever, maybe palmal or whatever. Put a whole bunch of fish in there, let them swim around in all the mud, and you know, and they enrich the soil or whatever, I don't know. And then as the water recedes, the fish will, you know, they'll go to where the water is. So the water will start draining into the pond. And so then the fish will all come back, in theory, and they'll all go in the pond. Invariably, there'll be some that are still in there. But if that's the case, I told her that, you know, you're gonna need to put a couple scarecrows out there because the birds will pick them fish clean, you know. That's what they like to do. So, of course, she told me, well, can you make me a couple? So, I haven't made a scarecrow. I think I was a kid when I made a scarecrow last time, and that was probably for Halloween. Oh, I just remembered when I was thinking of that. I'll tell you I'll tell you that scarecrow story. Or actually I didn't. I made scarecrows, you know, for Halloween, but I probably even dressed up as one, you know, just stuff hay in your sleeves and in your ankles and stuff and in your neck, walk around like Scarecrow Man and Wizard of Oz. But I'm gonna go back over here and sit down, man. It's blazing hot now. It's like 3 o'clock. So yeah, so y'all know what ding dong ditch is, right? That's when you used to, you know, and I mean, you do it any time of year, but on Halloween it was better because you run up and trick or treat, but you could also, you know, wait till late at night and go ding dong ditch. Now they just go up, steal pumpkins and all that stuff. But we, being the delinquents we were, one year up at my grandma's, I guess we were living with her because it must have been it was Halloween. I was there, so that was October, school year, so I must have been going to school up there. But I was little, I don't remember how old I was. But across the street from my grandma's was another houses, right? But behind those houses was a cemetery. It still is a cemetery. And the cemetery was on a hill, and then it was a cliff down to the Route 9, or what was like, you know, the main road going north and south into New York City. This is in New York. But it's only a 2-lane road, you know, very idyllic 2-lane road. And just down that road actually is the Sleepy Hollow. You know, if you remember the legend of Sleepy Hollow and all that, that's all right there. Anyway, being that we were kids, we took one of the dummies that someone had on their porch. I don't remember if we stole it, honestly, or if it was the kid who lived there that let us take it without telling his parents. Does that sound better? And anyway, we took the dummy to the graveyard, and we thought we'd sit it on some graves, I think, and you know, scare people, but we wound up going over to the cliff, right? And we thought, you know what we'll do? We'll wait till a car drives by and we'll chuck the dummy out off the cliff in the road in front of the car. What horrible children. But anyway, so we did that, or we tried to. So we took the dummy and we chucked it off the cliff, and because we were, you know, that high at the cliff, and we didn't realize it, but we were about the same height almost as the then telephone pole lines that were going across. So what happens? The dummy goes out and gets hung up on the telephone lines. It's like, you know, stuck on the line. We're like, what? God damn. And I think we got a big old branch. You know, we got a big old stick or whatever, because it was close enough that, I mean, we were little kids, so we couldn't have thrown it that far. So that meant the lines were close enough. So we got a stick anyway, and we pushed it off of there. Now, the cliff, it gets better here, so hold on. The cliff goes like this, right? Or down to the sidewalk. And so we push the dummy off, and it falls on the cliff like about middle ways and slides down to the bottom. And so so we saw this lady, it might have been a grandma. She was like pushing a little kid, a stroller. I mean, we were little kids. Maybe she was young, she looked old, because old little kids, everybody looks old or something, I don't know. I think it was an old person. But so the dummy slid down to the bottom. And so I jumped down, you know, slid down the cliff myself to retrieve the dummy, you know. And then, and I think that's when maybe, you know, my friends were like, dude, the lady. And so I wound up straddling the dummy and just started pummeling it like I was beating it up. And my friends were up there going, yeah, go, get him, whatever I was going, you boo, 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 punch him in the face, you know. And then the lady across, she's on the other side of the street on the sidewalk. She's all, hey, you stop that, or something. And I turned around looking at this, and I grabbed the dummy by the head, and I was like this, and I ripped his head off of his fucking shoulders. I ripped his head off, you know, and she's all, oh, you're so horrible. She kept going, and we were hysterical, bro. We laughed all night on that one. But then I, you know, grabbed it and got it back up there, and I don't honestly remember much after that. I don't know if we reassembled him and threw him off in front of a car, or if we brought him back. I think we actually brought him back. I think we were just using him or something. Maybe it was the kid that lived there. Fucking hilarious. I don't know what it would have done if that lady would have had a heart attack. But, you know, it was dressed up. It had Levi's and a shirt and everything. She genuinely probably thought it was another kid. But that's the kind of stuff you did because you didn't have computers, man. You didn't have a phone, man. You went out and did crazy shit. We take an old can. We take cans. Another thing on my grandma's road, at the bottom of the road, stop sign before you could turn right or left on that Route 9 there. And so we take a can, like an old pecan or whatever, 2 of them, punch holes in them, and tie a string, like a fishing string, from one can to the other can, and put both cans on the side of the road right by the stop sign. And then fill the can full of rocks or marbles. If we could, we'd try and, you know, pinch the can so the rocks couldn't come out of it or whatever. Anyway, so the car would come up and it would stop at the stop sign, and because cars back then actually had metal bumpers, you know, so it would take off and it would grab that line, and we would leave slack so that the car would take off, and he'd get down the road at least a few car lengths, maybe 1 or 2 car lengths, before the cans were pulled off their mount or whatever off the side of the road. And he'd drive down the road, and out there, and then, you know, he'd be down there probably another 50 yards before he's like, what in the freaking hell? And we'd watch, and he'd get out of the car or whatever, and we'd wait. But sometimes it would be like a family with kids in the car. We kind of felt bad about that, but it didn't hurt the car. We had them long enough to where, you know, it didn't hurt the car. It was like kind of like, you know, when you got married, that was kind of the idea. Like, you know, back in the day, they tie all those cans and with a string to your car, and you'd go through, you know, the village, and it would say, you know, just married, whatever. You seen those pictures? Well, that's where the idea came from, right? We'll just go, hey man, let's set it up, and they'll hook it up, and choo, you know, that's the kind of stuff we did. It was fun. Later, if you, now that I'm thinking, if you didn't like somebody, you'd wait until that person was coming down the road. You'd wait till late at night, and like you knew that person always came home at 12 o'clock at night or something like that. And you'd go down there, and you'd put the cans up with a short line, and put the cans like half full of paint. So when the guy went through the stop sign and took off, the cans would come back and go bam and hit like his back tires and back end of the car, and the paint would go everywhere and get his car all covered with paint. Water paint, but you know. I think the word for that is delinquents. Juvenile delinquents. Aren't juveniles like teenagers? Can't remember now. We were younger than that. It must have been 10 years old, 12 years old maybe. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little blast from the past. I'll watch this video hopefully when I'm 80, and I'll think battery overheated. Well, I was saying that you know, I'll watch this video again when I'm like 80, and I'll remember that story, and I'll go, oh, wait, I remember. But before I go and my battery overheats again, oh dude, oh no, you can't see it. Big old lizard just took off across the, he's about a foot and a half long, took off back to those holes. If you remember that, really old, it was an older video, probably 100 videos ago or something like that. I had 4 lizards. It's on the thumbnail. There's 4 lizards, baby lizards sticking out of the thing. It's a little bit of a video, and then all of a sudden the mama lizard pops her head up, you know, in that same hole. That lizard comes from that hole. Anyway, so what I did was I changed the plans again. So I was able to pour that one. And then instead of making that whole big thing all square, because I was running out of cement, I wound up doing it like a sled. So I put this sled footer in there. It's all rough here too, because, you know, the way I was mixing the cement just got too nasty at the end or whatever when I was trying to scoop it out of there evenly. But I figure, you know, when I do this side, I couldn't do it. I'm just dog ass tired now. When I do this side, I'll have 2 sleds, and if I want to later, I could tie these 2 together. But as a matter of fact, I'm looking at it like, you know, with this step, I could probably put another board right on top of this cement when it cures, you know, and bolt it to the thing, and I'd have another step right there. But yeah, so I got that done. That was what, 3 batches, and that's another batch. So 4 batches. I had some left over. I filled these in. I dug them down. Both of those, at least keep it stable while I'm getting it ready. Let's see, I think I need to unplug the fan. Whoa. Well, yeah, got it overheated again. Anyway, that guy's lucky. He's got that excavator has an air-conditioned cab, so he's in there cruising. All right, man. Well, oh wait a minute, I showed you the fireplace, right? Well, I cooked it real good. maybe even way hotter than I should have, but anyway, it's still hot. I'm gonna let it cool down. I'll come back tonight. I did see some, what is that? No, it's just all black in there. You see it? All black. So, but what I did see was I saw a crack somewhere in here. I marked it. I saw a hairline crack. Now I don't know if that's from if that's just the you know, the render, because I rendered right there when I put that. Remember, I put the pipe in afterwards, and so that I put additional cement. You can tell that by the discoloration of this part here. This was the extra cement I did, and I actually wound up, you know, making it all nice and stuff like that. And it might just be the render. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait till tonight when I can get in there and touch it, and it feels it's regular cold like that. And yeah, I thought about putting water over it, see if it leaks in there, but then I didn't want to compromise water going through there, so I figured I'd wait when it's really dark and I come out with a flashlight and run it along any cracks I see, because after it cools down, it might, remember, heat expands it and the cold will contract, so it'll contract later tonight, and I'll have to check it in the morning. But what I didn't do, even though I saw that hairline crack, what I didn't do is I didn't check for cracks before I put it in there, because it's been curing this month, right? So I didn't check for it. Maybe it did have cracks in the render. Anyway, hey, that was the corn. There's a bucket of corn that we got from where that guy is doing that. My wife also today, boom, got some fish in there. Whoa, fishes. So yeah, quite the day here on the farm. And anyway, hope you enjoyed all that, and thanks for watching. Keep watching for more cement work here on the Thai farm.